So, hey guys, welcome. My name is Jennifer Dixon, and I'm so excited to have you with me tonight or today, whatever time you're watching this, in a all levels kind of power flow. We're going to get started. If you have a block, grab a block. And I'm going to put it on the low side, and I'm going to put this in between my shoulder blades and lie down on it. Now, how far up or down is going to be dependent 100% on you guys and what you're seeking in terms of heart opening and all that. So for me, sometimes I put the block a little bit where the base is at my waist and the top is just in between the shoulder blades, which allows my head to get to the ground with a little more ease. If I'm feeling a little bit more like an intense stretch is in order, actually it's less intense, I shove the block to where the bottom of the block is in between the shoulder blades and the top is helping to hold my neck and head some. So yogi's choice. Extend those legs out long, or you can be in a cobbler's pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. Heart openers are great to help you open up, wake up. They can be energizing. I think they're it's fun because they can energize you, but then they also kind of help you calm down too in some ways. So we'll be here and breathe. So even though this is a little bit more of a relaxing posture, start to think about those bandhas. The Mula Bandha is that pelvic floor, squeeze it. The Uddiyana Bandha is that belly button to spine. Squeeze and lift that. And then start to use your yoga breath, that Ujjayi breathing, where it sounds a little bit like Darth Vader breath. It's inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Let's be here 2 more breaths. From here, we're going to take that block. I don't know if you guys wanted to move. I didn't. We're going to put that block, turn it in the horizontal position, put it underneath your sacrum into a supported bridge. This also is considered a heart opener. And so if you want, you can leave your feet planted on the mat and your knees up in the air, or you can try extending one or both legs long. If this aggravates your low back, which it does mine, you draw one knee into your chest, and then it becomes like the most awesome low back stretch / hip opener. So it's kind of like an assisted wind removing pose, that right knee into your chest. Don't forget your breath. Two more breaths here. One more. All right, we're going to extend that right leg out if you had it in. Bring the left knee in. If you've got your legs out long and you'd want to try moving your legs in a way that feels good, go for it. One more breath. I was kind of forgetting where I was enjoying this stretch. Go ahead and extend that leg out long. Then bring both feet to the ground, about hips width distance apart. Make sure that tailbone is lengthening down as you squeeze the glutes together to lift the hips. Take the block out from underneath you and hang out here in this bridge pose, really working on the glutes. Hello, glutes. Now we're going to hang out here for another 5. Lift the hips up more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, roll it down one vertebra at a time, and then bring your knees into your chest. We're going to do that again. We're going to do it 2 more times, and we're going to have some options here. You can come right back to your bridge pose, or if you want to juice it up, you're going to shimmy that left foot a little closer to midline and reach that right leg up. For 5, lift the hips. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ground that right leg down. Roll your back down. Maybe give your knees a squeeze. You guys okay? Then we're going to ground that right foot down. Actually, both feet down if you want to do a normal bridge, but if you want to do that one leg lifted, we're going to shimmy the right foot closer to the center, lift the hips, lift the left leg, and hold it for 5, 4, 3, chin is up, 2, 1. Good job. Roll it down, knees to chest. Now we're going to do some ab work because we love abs. Yes, we do. All right, extend those legs out long. Now notice if you have a curve in your low back and that low back is not on the mat. If the low back is not touching the mat, bring your knees in to where your feet are like you're setting up for bridge. Tilt the tailbone down. Press that low back into the mat. Hands can be out to the side wherever it feels comfortable. I know when I first started, I held on to the mat for dear life. Now we're going to take those shins to where they're about parallel to the ground, but the knees are not directly over the hips. We want the knees just past the hips to make the core work. If at any time the low back comes up off the mat, back off of this. Now, options. You can leave your shoulders on the mat, or if you want to engage the upper, like that six-pack area a little bit more, lift the shoulders. Now with those knees not straight up from the hips, just further down from the hips, we're going to toe tap down with the right, back up, left, back up. Don't let the low back down. Right, left, right, left. 2 more. Right, left. Last one. Right, left. Bring those knees in. Give them a squeeze. How'd you like those? Whew. All right, so now we're going to do a little bit more core work. We can always go back to this level 1 where your feet are on the mat or your shins are parallel. We're going to juice this up just a little bit because I think you can. Lift your shoulders, bring your hands not just straight up in the air, but overhead. So they're kind of reaching for the wall. Yep. Now we're going to extend that right leg down to the mat and bring it back up. Left leg up for 5. This will be 4. 3, 2, 1. Let's do one more for giggles. We love this. Now bring those knees into your chest. Say a little prayer that we are done with that. Now we're going to start to roll forward and backwards, maybe 2, maybe 3 times to give our little bellies a break. And then after your 3rd, 4th, 5th time, you're going to come up to seated, but let's not let those heels touch. Cross the stronger leg on top. It'll be a little bit easier. And then extend your hands out. You guys know probably what's coming. We're going to tap the toe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring those knees in. Give them a squeeze. Uncross, then put the weaker side on top. You're going to love this. We're going to do this side because it's weaker. 8. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, bring them in, give them a squeeze, and then when you are ready, we'll roll over and I'll meet everybody in a tabletop position. I don't know about you, but I need to stretch out my core, so let's do some cat-cows. Drop the belly looking up. And then round through the spine, looking down. Moving with your breath, linking your breath with your movement. Try to keep your Ujjayi breathing going. We're going to be here 2 more breaths, so move in a way that feels organic to you. And after your 2nd breath, come to a neutral spine. The beauty of having a camera in front of you is you can kind of check yourself out. You can play with a little bit of that hip tilt to see where it is that your back is actually straight. We're going to extend that right leg out long behind us and look at your low back in the camera. See if maybe you can eliminate the sink of the low back. When you've got that low back nice and flat, lift the leg. We're going to do single leg lifts. So we're going to barely tap and up for 10, 9, working the glutes, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Set it down. Cat-cow, wiggle. I have to wiggle between those sides. And let's do that on the other side. So again, find that neutral spine. Lengthen that left leg out. Keep the neutral spine as you lift the left leg. Try not to let your left hip get all cattywampus. Holding it steady here. All right, we're going to raise and lower for 10. Did we do 8 or 10? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that knee down. Go ahead, come back to your child's pose. Shake your bottom out with cat-cows, yogi's choice. Y'all, I don't have a clock, so we might just be here all night. So let's go ahead and slide our arms out in front and come to a little bit of a puppy pose. So it's a really good stretch for your shoulders, your lats, and your belly. If you want, your forehead can be on the mat, or your chin can be on the mat. I swear we'll get to moving. One more. From here, we're going to slowly slide those forearms back. Bring your chest up, plug the toes in, and come to a dolphin pose. Holy shoulders and calves. We're going to do 10 dolphin push-ups. Keep your belly nice, nice, nice and strong, and let's do it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Plug those hands into the mat. Maybe you can think to yourself, up, 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 and bring both elbows up off of the mat, coming into your downward facing dog. Good job. Gaze towards your belly button or in between your knees. Shake it out if it feels good. And we're going to move through one sun salutation. So inhale, look between those hands. Exhale, walk, step, jump your feet forward. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let's come all the way up. Reach your hands up overhead, maybe a little bit of a back bend. Exhale, hands to your side, mountain pose. Let's start some yoga. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, vinyasa. Inhaling for that up dog. Beautiful. Exhaling, down dog. 3 breaths here. Inhale, we're going to bring that right foot up towards the sky. Bend the right knee, reach that right heel towards your left shoulder, but don't let your left shoulder collapse down. We want to keep those left shoulders nice and square. Good correction. Reach that right knee towards the ceiling a little bit more and feel how your right butt cheek has to work even harder to do that. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. One more inhale here, and then exhale, bring that knee to your nose. Inhale. Exhale, set that right foot down on the mat. If you want, you can come down to your left knee to come into a low lunge, or if you're feeling super froggy, come right to a crescent lunge. Energy is out that left heel. Your hands can be at your heart center if your heart rate's starting to get crazy, or reaching up high. Sink into that right knee a little bit more. Sink in a little bit more. See how much space you can take up on your mat. We're going to be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hover that left knee down for 5. Oh yeah, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant the hands. Who asked for hip openers? Take your vinyasa. I love to work the glutes and the hips and get them nice and hot as we stretch them. So let's bring that left leg up to the sky. Bend that right knee. Left knee. Reach that left heel to the right shoulder without dumping into that right shoulder. Try to keep your shoulders square. You'll feel a better stretch along the obliques. Now squeeze the left butt cheek as you lift the knee up even higher. Maybe you've almost got kind of like a side split. Beautiful. Now, inhale here. Exhale. Swoop that left knee in towards your nose. Exhale it out. Inhale, plant that left leg quietly, and then come into your crescent lunge. Now, I feel like the left side gets gypped off a lot because the right side always goes first. So we're going to make sure we hang out here. We take up a lot of space with this crescent lunge, a whole bunch of energy out that right heel. We're going to be here for 3 more. Sink in. Now we're going to hover for 5, 4, good job, 3, 2, 1. Say a prayer. Plant the hands. Vinyasa. We're going to give... We're going to come to a plank pose, give our little legs a break, and warm up the core. Now, if you want to, we can play with shoulder taps, but try to keep your hips from bouncing around too much. So what's a shoulder tap? Right hand to left shoulder, tap. Left hand to right shoulder, tap. Nice. The slower you go, the harder this is. 5 on each side, or hold your plank. Good job, ladies. I think I'm on 4. Y'all feeling it in your belly? After 5, hold your plank for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Say a little prayer. Whoa. I've been saying lots of prayers today. All right. We're going to inhale. We're going to bring that right foot up to the sky. Bend the right knee again. Catch your breath here. It should feel pretty good stretching along the inner thigh of that right and the hammy of the left. Now we're going to swoop that right knee up towards the right shoulder. Squeeze it in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now bring that right foot to the center. Give it a kiss. Mwah. Set that right foot down at the top of the mat. Left heel plants at the back of the mat. The widest warrior one you've ever done. Maybe. And reach the hands up high. Really working on bringing that left hip forward. Feel the great stretch in that left hip flexor. Belly's in, tailbones down. One more breath. Take those hands, clasp them behind your back, pull them down and away. A nice heart opener. Maybe you gaze up just a bit. Inhale, releasing the hands. Exhale, open up warrior 2. This is a long warrior 2, the longest warrior 2 we've ever done. Reach the hands in opposite directions. Really try to tighten those triceps as we try to bring the yoga mats closer together with our feet to help to activate the hamstrings. That'll also help you maybe to sink into that warrior 2 a little bit lower. Inhale, peaceful warrior. On your exhale, extended side angle. Two more. One more. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, low lunge to the back of the mat. Not a skandasana, but a nice low lunge to make that left leg work a lot. I'm pointing my right toes up towards the sky. And we're going to maybe pulse it for 5, 4, 3, active stretch, 2, 1. Now hold it here and feel the stretch along the right inner thigh for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to your warrior two. Windmilling those hands down to the mat, coming up to the toes of that left foot and bring that left knee down. Enjoy a dragon pose. If you want it to be an active dragon, you can keep the left knee up. Really getting into those hips. Is that all right? A nice little break after the buns may have been on fire. My buns are on fire. Okay, 2 more breaths. That might have been TMI for you. All right, so go ahead. We're going to come up to the toes. We're going to get our heart rates back up just a little bit. Shift your bottom really high into the sky and switch right foot with left foot. Yeah, let's do it again. It's like yogi mountain climbers. Do it again. Mine is on the inside. It can be on the outside, whichever one is easier for you to help get that momentum, to help lift your bottom up high. That's going to get your heart rate really going. And then, after you've done even sides, take your vinyasa. I did a little tricksy with that dragon pose. You just thought it was a little bit relaxing. Catch your breath. All things must happen to all sides. Inhale here, bring that left knee up towards the sky. Bending it. Left heel to right shoulder. It should feel okay here. Enjoying the stretch. And then when you're ready, bring that left knee up towards your left shoulder. Squeeze it here. Feel this in the obliques. Then give that knee a kiss. Mwah. Set that left foot down in between the hands. Beautiful job. Bring the right heel down to the mat as we pull ourselves up. And the longest or the widest warrior one stance that we've ever done. Really feel this working in the left butt cheek and the left hammy. As we still work on squaring ourselves up to the front of the mat and the low belly being in. Take those hands behind you, getting a nice heart opener in, pulling it down and away. Maybe your gaze is up if your neck is okay with it. Don't collapse in that right arch. Releasing those hands, inhale back to warrior one. And then opening it up, warrior two. Feeling it nice. Sinking in here, lengthening through the tailbone as we squeeze the pelvic floor together. And then let's come to our peaceful warrior. Oh, it should feel pretty good. And then going over to your extended side angle. Try to have your fingertips one long line from the outside of your right foot. Bending into that left knee. Little to no weight into this left elbow. Inhaling back to warrior two. Let's give the left leg a break. Low lunge to the back of the mat. Really bend into that right knee. Now we've got 5 pulses, don't we? For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to hold it here for 5. Shoulders away from the ears. 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back. Windmill those hands down to the mat. Coming up to the toes of that right foot. Maybe planting that right knee down. Oh, and enjoy this nice dragon pose. Remember, if you don't want your heart rate to come down too low, you can keep that right knee up off the mat. Two more breaths here. One more. All right. Shimmy that left foot to the outside of the left hand. Shimmy the right hand a little closer to the left. Let's bring that right foot up. Oh, holy moly, and enjoy a nice malasana squat. I am so glad that you guys cannot hear how much I pop when I come into this pose. It's kind of embarrassing. Trying to keep your back straight, elbows into those inner thighs. And breathing here. If you want, now is an awesome time to play with crow. Or you can play with coming in and doing some core work. So it's kind of fun. It's a dynamic movement, not very yoga-like. I think these are called like animal movements. So we're going to bring our hands out, roll out, boat pose, back in. Whoo, I'm going to see if I can do this. Back to malasana. Then back, boat pose, malasana. Is that crazy or what? Try it again. Back, boat pose, in, oh, lean. For some reason, snapping my fingers helped. I don't know why. Now, if you're practicing crow, go for it. If you're done with your crow, we're going to come to a low squat. So our hips are going to actually be right at parallel with the knees. This is going to be a booty worker like it's nobody's business. Toes are out, heels are slightly in. Come to where your bottom is in line with your knees. It's almost like you are on one of those potties in China. Actually, I saw them in Switzerland once too. You know what I'm talking about? Where they had the little foot pads and the hole in the ground, and you're just trying your best not to make a mess anywhere. Maybe that was TMI again. Sit down low. Your knees are wide, pointing it out towards your toes. Really low squat. Now, think about knees going out. Push those knees out, pushing them out like you had a band on the outer part of your hips, and squeeze up. That's teaching you how to do a good, strong squat. Shake it out. Did y'all feel that in your quads? Because I did. All right. So from here, we're going to bring those toes together, heels apart, and come into chair. Because we haven't done that enough yet. And since today was all about hip openers with a little bit of heart openers, we're going to see if we can incorporate that with our balance. Bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, lean forward ever so slightly. Your bottom comes down even more. Keep your spine nice and neutral as you pick your left heel up. Bring that left heel towards your bottom. Squeeze it. Pretend you're a flamingo for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shift that left leg back. Airplane pose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant those hands down, standing splits. Oh, I bet you've never loved standing splits quite so much. Catch your breath. Now we're going to do 5 curtsy lunges because we love them. Take that left knee behind the right knee. Go down for 5. Up. 4. Up. 3. 2. And 1. Send that left leg up. Bring that left hand a little bit closer to the right foot. As you reach your right hand up to the sky, try to grab your left foot. Just see what happens. Nice. Eventually, maybe we'll be able to do this with no hand on the mat. Hashtag goals. When you're done playing with this shape, plant the hand, plant the foot, shake the knees out. I know I want to. Take them about feet, hips width distance apart. Grabbing hold of those big toes with your peace fingers and pull yourself down. Oh. You guys ready for more? Let's shimmy those feet closer together. Bring the toes together, heels apart, knees together, really squeeze them together, coming into your chair pose. Chair pose gets a bad rep, I think. People hate it, probably because it's so hard. I love it. Sink a little lower. Bring your hands to your heart center. We're going to lean forward ever so slightly. This time we're going to take that right heel toward your butt cheek. Squeeze the knees together for 5, 4, 3, sink low, 2, 1. Shift that right leg back, airplane pose. Belly's in. 4, 3, 2, standing splits. Ooh, enjoy the stretch here. The hammy of the standing leg. Really working that heel like you're trying to press it into the ceiling matrix style. I might have to stop using that reference because it shows my age, huh? Take your right knee behind your left. Curtsy lunges for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Let's try that little bind maybe. I slide my right hand a little bit closer to the left for stability. Bend the right knee a little bit so I can reach back with my left hand to grab it. And let's just see what happens. We've been working this opening since the very beginning, knee towards the ceiling. Only thing different here is now instead of being in a down dog position, we're in a forward fold position. There's a lot different, but not really. All right, releasing that foot and that hand. Come into Pada Hastasana. Feet or hips width distance apart. Slide the hand under the feet. Walk those toes all the way up to the wrist. Pull yourself down. Because it should feel pretty stinking fabulous. One more. All right, releasing this. We have some options here. Depends on how froggy you're feeling. If you want, you can go straight to your down dog. If you're feeling super froggy, maybe you play with jumping up, kick your butt, and jump back. Jump up, kick your butt, jump back. Just kick your butt. Or not. You can go straight to your down dog, or you can take vinyasas. It's just an option to help get the heart rate up in case you didn't get enough of that. All right, I'm going to move my block out of the way. We're going to inhale, bring that right foot up towards the sky. Bend that right knee. We've been here before. Get really light on the right fingertips. Reach the right knee towards the ceiling like it's looping through a rope on the ceiling. Pretend you're hanging your weight there. Bring your right hand to your heart. Belly's in. Good balance. Holding it here. And when you're ready with control, flip your dog. Or wild thing. Or just three-legged dog. When you're ready, flip it back. Right knee to your nose. And then set that right foot down. Left heel down. Warrior one. Open up, warrior two. Let's shift those hips back, straightening the right leg, coming into your triangle pose. You can do lots of stuff with triangle pose. You can grab hold of your right big toe. You can have a block on the outside of your foot. Maybe no weight at all into your leg or your toe. Gaze up to those left fingertips for 3, 2, 1. Inhaling here, 5-pointed star. Y'all stay where you are. I'm turning around. And then let's clasp our hands behind our back. Pull them down and away from you. Feel that nice stretch across your chest, maybe even your hip flexors. And then we're going to forward fold. Go ahead and release the hands. pressing your hands into the mat to half lift. Have the toes out, heels in. Bend those knees a lot like you're trying to be a sumo wrestler, and come into your sumo squat or horse pose, goddess pose. Sink down really low, really opening up across the inner thighs as we build tremendous strength in the booties. Sink down a little lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the left leg. Here we are, side lunge towards the back of the mat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the left knee, straighten the right knee for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend both knees, hanging out here. Get a little lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten everything up towards the sky. Turn it towards the front of your mat and come into a pyramid pose. So your left toes, your right toes, everything's facing forward, straightening out that right leg, stretching out the right hamstring and the left hamstring. Little bitty break here. When you are ready, go ahead and take your vinyasa. I played with the idea of transitioning through side plank, but I wanted you guys to like me tomorrow. So maybe next time. But in that vein, before we go on to the other side, let's come to high plank and roll over onto the right, side plank on the right. Softening that right elbow, right shoulder is pushing the earth away from you. Check in with your left hip. It's not reaching for the wall behind you, but for the ceiling on top of you. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grounding the left hand down. Come to your plank. Let's do that on the other side. Vashisthasana on the left. Again, check in with the hips. A lot of times, we almost want to make this a heart opener, and this isn't a heart opener, right? This is an ab worker. It's working everything, basically. Couple more breaths. One more. Plant the hands. Downward facing dog. Oh, now we get to do all that again on the other side. Lift that left knee up towards the sky, bending it. Reaching the left heel towards the right shoulder. Start to get really light in the left hand, coming up to the fingertips maybe. Engage through the core a whole bunch. Lengthen through the tailbone, pressing the right fingertips in. See if you can bring your left hand to your heart and hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Slowly with control, flip your dog. Coming back to your downward facing dog. Left leg is reaching high. Bring it to your nose. Give it a kiss. Mwah. Set it down. Right heel plants. Warrior 1 on the left. Let's open up. Warrior 2. Straighten that left leg. Shift those hips back as we reach our hands forward, coming into triangle pose on the left. If you tend to lock out your knee, make sure you can bend your knee. What is it? Gail says, wiggle jiggle. I love the wiggle jiggle. These days I have a lot of things that wiggle jiggle. Probably more than it should, but oh well. Welcome to a brief moment inside Jennifer's head. Coming up, 5-pointed star. And then we're not going to go to that prasarita. We're going to keep those toes out, come straight to our goddess, because we are goddesses. Tailbones down. We're going to pulse it down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the left leg. Keep that right knee bent. Bend the left knee, straighten the right knee. Do y'all like these or no? You can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Leave a comment down below. Yeah, I got some thumbs up. Come back to your goddesses. Sink it low, low, low. Then we're going to turn towards the front. Bring the right toes slightly forward, left toes turn forward, folding over that left leg. It should feel pretty fantastic. Softening that left knee. Let's go ahead, bring that left foot back to the back of the mat, coming back to our plank. Before we do the last little bit of hip openers, actually no, let's do hip openers, then we'll do back bends because hip openers usually help with back bends. So come to downward facing dog. We're going to bring that right foot forward to the outside of the right hand. Try to bring your right knee to your right shoulder. Yogi's choice here, you can make this really active, keeping that left knee off the mat. Maybe playing with, look mom, no hands. Or maybe you play with an arm balance. Or maybe you just hang out here in a nice juicy stretch. Yogi's choice. We'll be here for about 8 to 10 breaths. If you've never tried it, you can always bind too, like a little dragon bind. That's like mega awesome balance. I remember the first time I got it, I was like, holy cow, that's so cool. I went home, told my sisters about it. They thought I was a dork, because I am. All right, let's bring that left knee down to the mat if it's not, and straightening out that right leg. All right, so everybody's a little bit different here. You can keep your right toes pointed. That's going to be the stretch along the shins. Or you can flex those right toes and you'll feel that in the calf. Both of them you should feel in your hammies, especially if you've got tight hammies. But play with which one feels better to you. We have blocks, so you guys probably know where we're going. Since there was a request for hip openers, the ultimate hip opener is Hanumanasana. So we have options. You can stay here in half splits, splits prep. You can go dance between the dragon and the splits prep. Or you can just slide your feet in opposite directions and come into your splits. And hang out here like you like it. Who asked for hip openers? Now, if you do a lot of hip openers, splits prep work, and your splits are always leaning forward, you're robbing the upper part of your psoas of a really awesome opportunity to stretch. So I prefer to work on my splits with my chest up. This is killer because my hip flexors are chronically tight, and my psoas is tight, especially up in my torso. So this is lovely. Y'all doing okay? Oh, it's a strange version of lovely. All right, let's do this here for another 5, 4. I'm getting hotter right now than I've been in the entire class. Oh, all right. So whatever you got to do, I'm rolling over to the side. Pick that leg up. Oh, man. You can take a vinyasa if you want. I kind of want a cat-cow with some hip sways. My hips are not lying, and right now they're angry. So let's do that on the other side. If only I had Shakira playing in the background. All right, so from downward facing dog, we're going to bring that left foot forward and enjoy this dragon stretch. Remember, your right knee can be down. If you want it to be more of a passive stretch, totally okay. If you want it to be more active, you keep those knees up off of the mat, sinking into the hips. This is definitely my tighter side. Honor the differences in sides, guys. Don't force it. You can play with that look mom, no hands thing, the bind again. There's an arm balance here, Ekapada Kundanyasana. It's also an easy way to get into Visvamistrasana, which is a side, it's kind of like a side plank with the splits, so your leg is wrapped around your arm. We did that in class not too long ago. It'll be uploaded into the community shortly. So far, we've broken Facebook and Instagram because everybody's on there. All right, let's straighten that left leg. Ooh-wee. I love sound effects. All right, remember, you can do the pointing thing to really get the front part of your shin, or the flex thing with your foot. Whichever one's tighter. And if they're both tight, dance between the two. When you are ready, or as ready as you'll ever be, let's just see what happens as we explore the splits pose on the other side. Ooh, I might need a block for this. I love to rush this side because this is not my good side. So don't let me rush it. This is when I wish I had a blanket. Block will do. So the reason why hip openers are a good idea to do before back bends oftentimes are limited by lots of things, openness across your chest, all that, but it's this hip flexors and psoas as well. So if we get them nice and ready for the idea of back bends, we might be able to experience a deeper opening, a bigger opening. Let's be here for another 3 breaths. 2. And 1. Come on out of this. Oh my God, if that doesn't deserve a little prayer, I don't know what does. Oh. Bring those knees in. Do what you need to do to forgive yourself for that nonsense, because it sort of felt like nonsense to me. And now we're going to come into camel pose. So shake out your hips. You know, we probably should have done a camel beforehand and then a camel after this, so then you could really, you'd believe me when I say it helps, but you'll just have to take my word on it today. So to set up for camel, we're going to bring about 2 fists in between the knees, or you can do like hang loose and put that, the thumb and the pinky. Now, your feet can be flat on the mat, or you can have your toes plugged in. We're going to do 3 of these. Yogi's choice, we're going to hold them for 5 breaths. Bring your hands into your yogi pockets. Fingertips can be down or up, helping to help push the hips forward, lengthen through the tailbone. Keep your bottom, make it jiggle for as long as possible. That'll help with your sacrum. Rotate your shoulders forward as you let your head go back. And then see what happens. Maybe you can grab one heel. Don't let your hips come back. Maybe you can grab the other heel. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming on out of this. If you want, you could do child's pose. You can do a rabbit pose. I have a terrible rabbit. It's really embarrassing. We get to do those camel poses 2 more times. So, no time like the present. Come on up to your knees. If you want, you can see what it feels like to have your knees a little bit wider this time. I'm going to try to keep mine about the same. This time, the tops of my feet are plugged into the mat. If you can, join me. Remember, wiggle, jiggle in the booty, rotating those shoulders forward as you let your head come up, and then reach back for the heels. One more. Inhaling, coming up. Wiggle it out. Child's pose, rabbit pose, whatever you need to do. Last back bend. It's the best back bend of our evening. Bring those hips up. Sink the tailbone down. That's going to help you to keep the pelvis from spilling the soup bowl either forward or backwards. So have the Cheerios nice and steady. Don't let the Cheerios go anywhere. As we push the hips forward, go ahead, keep the hips right where they are as you look up and then reach back. As soon as my butt cheeks start to clench, that's when I know I'm at my edge and I don't push it anymore. I'm still working on that. All right. Inhale, come up. Child's pose. Let's come up here and come to a seated position. Remove the flesh. And let's do a forward fold since we did all of those back bends. So seated forward fold, it can be an easy one or it can be like a super intense where you bring the earth up with you and you fold forward. Yogi's choice. I'm going to do like a slightly easier one with a whole big bend in my back. Manju says turtles live a long time and turtles have rounded shells. So let's go ahead and round here a little bit. Tuck your chin. Inhale, come up. I'm going to go grab my block in case you need it. We didn't have very many twists in here today, so we're going to do a little bit more hip opening with some twist. So let's come to fire log, left leg on the bottom, left shin is parallel to the top of the mat. Woo, right shin is sitting right on top of that left foot. We want to make sure both feet are flexed. I'm going to turn so you guys can see me. Left shin parallel, right shin parallel. Feet are flexed. If there's a whole bunch of space in between your right knee and your left ankle, grab a block, set it there. Because if your knee is dangling out in space, you're going to feel very vulnerable and it's going to be really hard to relax. I have to remove the flesh. If you don't need to, then feel free. Now we're going to stay right here for a few breaths. If you want, you can lean into it. Dvipada Rajakapotasana. Double pigeon. We're going to have to call this one the hip opening extravaganza. All right, we're going to come up. We're going to take our left hand over towards the right and twist it out even here in this hip opener. Gaze is over those right shoulders, belly stays in. Come back to center, other side. Right hand to the outside of that left knee and right foot. Gazes over the left. It's not really yoga if we don't have any twists, and I don't think we did very many twists at all today. We're going to come back forward. Let's reverse our double pigeon or fire logs. This time, right shin is parallel to the top of the mat. Left shin is resting on top of that right. The closer your knees are together, the more intense the stretch is. But you don't want to have like your right knee resting on your left calf. That's a little bit more like easy seat Sukhasana. It robs you of a super juicy stretch. Get in here. Put a block where you need it. So it may need to be under this left knee. And if you are kind of like this, that's okay. You like this, meaning both knees up in the air. You can put a block underneath your right leg. You can put a block on top of your right shin underneath your left knee. It's just a matter of practice and oftentimes anatomy as well. My hips are just open, but I don't internally rotate very well. And some people are the opposite. They internally rotate better and don't externally rotate. So if you see me doing something, or if you see somebody else doing something and you're not there, don't keep your eyes on your mat. Hip opening and heart opening can elicit a lot of strong emotions. So if you were thinking a few cuss words today, it was the postures, it wasn't me. It may have been me. I hope it wasn't. Let's come up and let's twist this out. So this time we're going to go to the left first, right hand to the outside of that left knee. Look over those left shoulders. When I first started practicing yoga, I would have yoga teachers that would always say, camel pose elicits a lot of strong emotions. Like that would be kind of their word, which is probably where I got it from. And I never got it, but like in Bikram classes, people would cry every class during camel pose. Every class. Let's go to the other side. Then I moved from just being solely Bikram into power, and I was introduced to frog. I don't know if y'all know. Yeah, y'all know frog pose. First time I ever experienced strong emotions in a yoga class. It was not tears, it was anger. I wanted to like punch people. But we hold our emotions in these super sensitive, tight spots. Point of that story. Inhale, come back to forward. We're going to release this hip opener. Use your hands if you need to. Come back to your back, laying back on your back. If there's something that we didn't do, I didn't really give you guys much of an opportunity to get upside down. So if you want to get upside down, you can. If you want, you can do a shoulder stand. I'm just going to do legs up the wall like a waterfall pose. And since we have blocks, you can also put a block underneath your sacrum. I'm running a little bit late, guys. Sorry. Time flies when you're having fun. I'm going to do just a waterfall pose with my block under my sacrum, legs straight up in the air, arms out wide. So I was reading in this book not too long ago. It's called like Downward Dogs and Warriors. And I might be butchering the name, and I don't remember who the author was, but she told the story behind this posture. And if you've heard the story already, I apologize, but I thought it was beautiful and kind of also meaningful in a lot of ways right now. But the story behind this pose was a long, long, long time ago in a land far, far away. That's actually kind of true since it'd be India. The people of Earth were suffering, and the deities in that religion were trying to figure out how to help ease their suffering. And there's three main deities, at least the ones in this era, and they asked one of the lesser deities, her name was Ganga, if she would come down and bless the earth with her presence. And she said, I can't, because if I just fell to the earth, I would kill everybody with her presence. Ganga was like, had this amazing presence. She was so full, right? And so Shiva, one of the deities, said, don't worry, I'll catch you. So he got underneath her and she fell onto him, and the essence of her falling onto him went through his dreadlocks, because it is India and everybody has dreadlocks over there, at least they did at that point. And the water coming off of his dreadlocks made all of the rivers in India, including the river Ganges. So, because that's their most sacred river, that's their life-supporting river. So I thought that was kind of a pretty story. I also loved how they recognized the power of the she, not to discredit the masculine power. All right, if you're in shoulder stand, legs up the wall, come on out of this. Bring your knees to your chest, maybe a little bit of a fish pose. And then you're going to take your arms out long, legs out long, long body stretch. And then bring in your hands down to your side. Come into a nice, happy Shavasana pose. I like that story because Ganga like embodied like knowing her force and knowing the presence that she brought. And that resonates with me because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like maybe we're told to hold it back, hold back, hold back. And so we don't really ever get to know exactly everything that we are capable of. And this story kind of flies in the face of that because not only did she know what she was capable of, but she was like, you can't handle all this. And I loved that. And she was confident in that, and I loved that. Which might make it be kind of cheesy, but whatever. Know your worth. That's the point. Thank you so much for joining me tonight in this all levels powerful flow. I hope you had fun, maybe tried something new, and I hope you go in peace and stay well. Namaste.